The Children's Place is a really incredible organization. I mean, yes, it helps the children, but it also helps the families as a whole.
At Children's Place, we're champions for Chicago's most vulnerable children. And we really take that seriously. If you're a champion for somebody, that means that you have to relentlessly fight for them. You have to see whatever it is that they most need and then go out and make that happen. And the one thing that we're not allowed to say is, it's too hard. We never get to say it's too hard. In all of our efforts, all of our advocacy, all of our programs, everything is really designed to stick up for people who cannot fight for themselves.
If it weren't for the Children's Place and its services and its dedicated staff and its volunteers, many of the kids we serve would have no other option. That's why it's important for so many people to get involved with this organization.
It's a miracle that kids like this have a place to go where they can belong and feel valued and have a chance to live normal lives as normal kids.
In our beginning and throughout our whole existence, we've taken seriously that we're being charged with being champions for Chicago's most vulnerable children. And when we think about that, we realize that the first thing we have to really do is understand who the most vulnerable children are and what their needs are. That kind of focus helps us stay relevant. The population of children may change over time. It may be that in the early 90s, the most vulnerable kids were kids with HIV. In the early 21st century, we would argue that the most vulnerable kids are kids who are living in communities that are plagued by violence. Today, Children's Place serves children who are living in extreme poverty and who face health and developmental issues that even in optimal circumstances would compromise their growth and development. On the west side of Chicago, community violence is so common and so frequent that sometimes it almost becomes unremarkable.
As a father of two small kids, I know that the early ages of life is really what is going to be the building blocks for a successful life. And for the kids who are involved with the Children's Place, they may not get it anywhere else.
Learning more and more about the effects of violence and loss and chronic stress in children, both in their lives now and in their lives in the future. Challenges that our kids face are things like not feeling safe to go out and play because of violence in our communities, dealing with the effects of chronic stress on top of other health issues or the other things that we typically imagine kids face in childhood if this is just additional stressors and difficulties that they deal with.
All kids need things to thrive. They need families that love them. They need good schools to go to. They need a safe place to go outside and play. The more that we can ensure that children who are our next generation have what they need from day one, the less that we have to worry later on about all kinds of ways of remedying those kinds of deficits that they've experienced.
Children's Place International was founded in 2007. We work with partners throughout the Midwest and Chicago who have something they can bring to the table, and then partner with local organizations in sub-Saharan Africa and the Caribbean and really try and reach more kids and create better outcomes for those kids.
I was inspired and amazed around how the Children's Place was meeting those children's needs, those families' needs, and really serving as a lifeline for them.
People who support the Children's Place are really able to see where their gifts are going. You can see the children who come in here and really what's happened to them during this critical period. We can see the children who come to the Early Learning Center go off and be successful in kindergarten and beyond. The Children's Place is about heart. It's about caring for people. It's supporting families where they are and for who they are.
I think most people who are watching this video would do anything possible if they really, really thought it was going to make a difference. If they thought that somebody was going to die without their help and survive and live and thrive with their help, they would help.
Children's Place is a shining example of kindness. people living through the fundamental central value of kindness.